In 2007, Lionel Messi held a baby in his arms. At the time, nobody knew who that baby would become. That baby was Lamine Yamal. Years later, the same child would become one of the biggest young stars in world football. And the story would become even more unbelievable. Because one day, the baby Messi once held would grow up to face him on football's biggest stage. It sounds like a movie, but this is a real football story. Back in 2007, a young Lionel Messi took part in a charity photoshoot connected to UNICEF. During the photoshoot, Messi was paired with a young family from Barcelona. One of the children was baby Lamine Yamal. At that moment, Messi was already a rising star at Barcelona, but Lamine Yamal was just a baby. Nobody could have imagined that the child in Messi's arms would one day become a football superstar. As Yamal grew older, his talent quickly became impossible to ignore. He joined Barcelona's famous La Masia academy and began developing his skills. Even at a young age, Yamal had something special. His dribbling, his confidence, his vision, and the ability to play against defenders much older than him. Then came the moment that changed everything. Lamine Yamal made his first-team debut for Barcelona while still incredibly young. And instead of looking nervous, he played with the confidence of a player who had been there for years. Soon, the world began to notice him. Yamal was no longer just a talented academy player. He was becoming one of the most exciting young footballers on the planet. His performances for Barcelona and Spain made people ask one question: could this be the next great superstar of world football? And then, the old photograph returned. The image of Messi holding baby Yamal suddenly became one of the most famous football photos on the internet. People looked at the photo and realized something incredible. The greatest player of his generation had once held a future superstar in his arms. But the story did not stop there. Years later, Lamine Yamal had become a star in his own right. He was no longer the baby in the photograph. He was now one of the players the world was watching. And this is what makes football so special. One photograph can connect two completely different generations. One player helped define an era, and another young player is now trying to create his own. From Messi holding a baby in 2007 to Lamine Yamal becoming one of the biggest names in football, the story is almost impossible to believe, but it is real. And perhaps one day, years from now, another young football fan will look back at today's photos of Lamine Yamal and ask the same question: who will be the next superstar he once stood beside? Football is not just about goals. Sometimes, football creates stories that feel like destiny. Messi held him as a baby, and years later, Lamine Yamal became a football superstar. What do you think? Can Lamine Yamal one day become as great as Lionel Messi? Let us know in the comments.